All right, my presentation is on cradle cap, and cradle cap is a skin condition which is usually on the scalp, and it's usually in infants. It can be in adults or older children, but it's really not. And then it's typically on the scalp, which can cover your whole cranium, which is your head, and then can be found where your frontal bone is or your forehead. So it can go all the way down to your forehead. It can also be down on your ears, your neck, or a diaper area, but it is less likely since those areas aren't highly sebaceous. And a normal functioning scalp is gonna protect. Your skin is there to protect, and it has a protective barrier. So if something's not going right, there's going to be a signal, and your skin's going to do what it can to try to protect it. If it's not functioning normally, then things like cradle cap can happen, where buildup of oil is happening from those sebaceous glands on the outermost layer, and it's causing your scalp to be irritated, and the dead cells are going to dry up and stuff like that. And then usually the cradle cap isn't going to go down to a deeper layer, which would be your dermis and then your hypodermis, and then all the way down to the bone it goes. But it can't go down that far. And if it does, you have to get like some kind of treatment or something. But usually it just stays on the outermost layer where your hair follicles are. And then your hair follicles do extend all the way down through the dermis to the nerves and other blood vessels. And that's why if your hair gets like pulled or stuck in something, it's going to hurt because it's connected to nerves, and those are farther down. But since cradle cap is usually on the outermost layer, it's not really going to hurt. It might itch, but if it's irritated, it could probably get inflamed and start to hurt. And then here's a picture like showing your outer layer where pores are, and then the overreactive sebaceous glands. So that's a big part of cradle cap, where the skin on top gets irritated or dry, and then the sebaceous glands are producing extra oil, and all that buildup is coming, and that's what cradle cap is. And that's why it looks like cakey kind of. And then here's a picture of where it can be on your head, your parietal, temporal, occipital, frontal. It's obviously not on the bone. It's going to be on the skin, but that's just a general idea of where you would see it. And then there's no actual reason proven as to why it happens, but the main reason is going to be overproduction of oil in your sebaceous glands. And then we can assume it's like a pimple or like pores getting clogged, because basically when your pores get clogged, it produces a pimple, which is filled with stuff. And cradle cap, it's a buildup, so it's like a bunch of stuff on your scalp. And another thing that can happen is it can be caused by yeast, and then yeast is going to break down your fatty acids, which is what moisturizes your scalp, keeps it healthy, keeps it functioning normally. And when that happens, when those are broken down, those fatty acids, your scalp becomes dry, doesn't have moisture. And that's why when you have cradle cap, it looks like dry patches. They kind of can like flake off, and it can become inflamed if bacteria gets on it, which yeast can cause bacteria to grow. And so usually when you have that, you're going to want to get a treatment for it, something antifungal or antibacterial, and a doctor will tell you exactly what you need for that. But it's different for everybody, I'm pretty sure. And then if yeast is on your skin or your scalp, it can throw off your pH, which is going to make your skin do things that it's not supposed to, like cause acne, cause stuff like cradle cap, extra oil. And then the side effects we went over. It was also proven that infants with cradle cap have a family member with eczema or asthma. And eczema seems pretty similar because it's itchy, it's a skin condition, it can get very irritated. Only thing that's different, I think eczema can hurt and cradle cap really doesn't hurt. And then hormones, the main belief that cradle cap is caused by is hormones, and any hormones the mother has are passed down to the baby. And then the baby's, that's going to stimulate the baby's oil glands, causing this cradle cap. It sends a signal to the brain and then the receptors, and then after that, your skin's going to react. And then cradle cap is a disruption to the normal function of the skin. So our skin is normally helping our body maintain homeostasis, and then when cradle cap develops, it's going to disrupt the skin's barrier function, and it causes it to be dehydrated, and it causes it to be more susceptible to infection. So our skin barrier and our epidermis, and maybe even the dermis, is going to try to help to repair and restore the skin. And that's when homeostasis happens, because our body's trying to go back to normal. It's trying to function like it's supposed to again. And then for prevention and treatment, there's not really a treatment. It's just good to keep your baby's head clean. So all those things that our skin barrier is trying to keep out, it helps that, because if you're cleaning off bacteria and stuff on your baby's head and extra oil, it's going to keep those things from causing something worse a little bit. And then it says a mild shampoo is recommended because your skin's already irritated and dry or whatever, so you probably want to use something that's not going to irritate it even more unless doctor says so. And then again, for something fungal, you want, or something fungal like yeast, and then you're going to want something more strong to treat that. And then those are my sources.